The monitor screamed a flatline. Eli Mercer lunged forward. His utility knife snapped open with a flick. He drove the serrated edge into the medical pod's jammed hatch seal. Sparks flew as he sawed through the fused alloy. The pod hissed steam from a hull breach. Princess Saivi Ilir lay inside, her iridescent skin paling under ruptured breath sacs that bubbled blood. Eli wedged the blade deeper. The hatch groaned. He kicked it with his boot. Metal buckled. Coolant vapor billowed out, stinging his eyes. He shoved his arm in, ignoring the frostbite burn. Savi's chest heaved in spasms. Her 4 breath sacs, 2 dorsal, 2 ventral, gaped open from shrapnel. Royal blood, violet and viscous, pooled in the pod's medgel. Her eyelids fluttered, mandibles slack. Eli grabbed his field kit from his belt. He ripped open a trauma patch, standard human sealant, polymer foam that expanded on contact. No alien equivalents here. The Palace Armory stocked human gear after the trade summit. He slapped the first patch over her upper dorsal sac. Foam hissed, sealing the tear. Sevi twitched. Old still, Eli muttered. He pressed a pressure wrap around her torso. The wrap cinched tight with a ratchet click, compressing the sacs without crushing her secondary lungs. Her breathing rasped, shallow, but steadying. Alarms blared louder. Footsteps thundered in the corridor outside the medbay. Commander Keth Varro burst through the doors, plasma rifle leveled. His armored scales gleamed under flickering lights. 2 guards flanked him, tails lashing. "Human!" "Back away," Keth barked. His voice modulator clicked, translating Eli's English imperfectly into Ilir clicks. "The princess is under palace quarantine." Eli didn't look up. He yanked a diagnostic probe from the pod's console. "She's flatlining again."
"Sacs are collapsed. I need 5 minutes."
Keth's rifle dipped a fraction, his compound eyes fixed on Saivi's monitors. The commander's mandibles clicked in distress. "You breach a royal pod. That's execution under Ilir code." Eli traced the pod's coolant line with his fingers. It snaked from the damaged cryo unit. Ice cold and pulsing, pure nitrogen mix, perfect for an oxygen booster. He seized his multi-tool. Pliers snapped. He crimped the line, rerouting it through the pod's emergency vent. A jury-rigged mixer formed. Coolant chilled the air, stripping impurities, forcing oxygen yield from the pod's reserves. "Watch the hull," Eli ordered. He twisted the valve. Fresh mix flooded Savi's mask. Her sacs inflated. Heartbeat spiked. Erratic but alive. Keth hesitated. Blaster fire echoed from the outer corridor. Intruders. Velshira's faction. They sabotaged the summit shuttle. Protocol demands I secure the body. Not a body. Li sealed the final wrap. Savi's eyes cracked open, golden slits locking on him. Her claw-tipped hand grasped his wrist. Weak but deliberate. A royal bond gesture he'd learned in briefings. Trust, sealed in touch. Keth's rifle snapped up. He barked into his comm. "Hold the corridor." No one enters. Guards pivoted, forming a barrier. Bolts sizzled past the doors. Eli checked vitals. Pulse stabilized at 82. Oxygen sats climbing. He wiped violet blood from his hands on his jumpsuit. "She's breathing pure. Get a hover stretcher." The princess rasped through her modulator. "Who, man? Debt binds." Eli nodded once. "Rest." Keth lowered his weapon fully now. His tail uncoiled. A sign of deference Eli recognized from drills. "You improvised a sac mixer." "No Ilir medtech does that without a full bay." "A field medicine." Eli packed his kit. "Humans improvise." Saivi's grip tightened. Her sacs rippled under the wrap, sealing true. The bond pulsed warmer, an alien warmth tingling up Eli's arm. Palace law. Savior claims protection. Or death. Doors rattled. Blaster fire intensified. Keth fired back, scales flaring red with battle rage. "Shira's assassins. They want the heir dead before Queen Mara invokes the bond." Eli pulled Savi from the pod. Her weight surprised him. Light, avian bones under silk robes. He slung her arm over his shoulder. "Stretcher later. Move." Keth covered their retreat. "You're no contractor. You're a weapon." Eli shouldered through debris, just decent. They hit the corridor. Bodies littered the floor. Guards, summit aides. Shira's plot: kill the heir, blame humans, shatter the alliance. Blaster bolts scorched walls. An assassin rounded the corner, rifle raised. Li dropped low, Sevi tucked behind. He hurled his utility knife. It thunked into the assassin's throat fence. The figure gurgled, dropped. Keth stared. Knife throw at 20 paces? Practice. Eli reclaimed the blade, slick with ichor. Sci-Fi leaned into him. Her breath synced with his, bond deepening. Eli! Mercer! You anchor. Alarms shifted. Throne room priority. Queen Mara's voice boomed over speakers. All units. The air lives. Invoke life depth on the human rescuer. Protect or perish. Keth saluted the air. The queen moves. But shadows stirred ahead. Vel Shira stepped from a side passage, robes pristine, flanked by 4 elites. His mandibles smirked. Commander, the human taints the bloodline. Succession demands purity. Keth raised his rifle. Stand down, minister. The bond forms. Shira's eyes gleamed. But queens fall. Deliver him, or join the dead. Eli tensed. Savi's claws dug in. Trust absolute. Blasters hummed. Keth glanced back. Human. Run with her. I'll hold. Eli met the commander's gaze. No words. He bolted, princess in tow. Shira laughed. The prize flees. They plunged into service tunnels. Savi gasped. Mother. Throne chamber. Safe. Eli nodded, rerouting his mental map. Footsteps pursued. The bond hummed. Her pain his resolve hers. A bulkhead sealed behind, but Shira's voice echoed through vents. Kill the human. The princess lives as puppet. Eli gripped his knife tighter. Trust outpaced the chase. For now, Keth's armored boot slammed the Medward bulkhead aside. Inside, human! Guards perimeter. Eli staggered through, Sci-Fi's weight dragging on his shoulder. Her claws pierced his jacket, bond pulsing her ragged breaths into his chest. Ichor trailed from her neck wound. Palace physicians, 3 Iltra in crisp robes, mandibles clicking, swarmed from alcoves. Secure the air! The lead physician barked. He raised a sedative injector, needle gleaming. Eli twisted between them, planting his boot. No drugs. She's crashing, airway first. The physician recoiled, multifaceted eyes narrowing. Outsider protocol forbids. Eli dropped to one knee, laying Savi on the nearest slab. Her throat swelled, rasping wet. He pinned the physician's arm with his elbow. Back off or she chokes, now. Guards hesitated. Rifles trained on Eli. Keth stepped in, mandible set. He saved her once. Let him work. Eli ignored them. He yanked his improvised kit from his belt. Field scalpel, tube from a crash kit, sealed with med tape and vent sealant. Savi's eyes locked on his, bond humming trust. He sliced a precise incision below her mandible, careful past the pulsing vein. Ichor bubbled. He threaded the tube, sealed it, taped firm. Her chest rose even. Clear wheeze. No foam. Physicians clustered, scanners whirring. Impossible. Human tools. Primitive. Works, Eli said. He suctioned residue with a modified syringe. Stabilize the bleed next. Clamp here. Keth waved his guards wider. Minister Shira's elites inbound. Hold this ward. Alarms blared. Throne priority. Escalated. The Medward doors hissed wide. Queen Mara Ilir strode in, robes swirling like storm clouds. Her crown spines gleamed under lights. 6 executioners flanked her, blades drawn, eyes locked on the slab. She scanned the room, Sci-Fi breathing, Eli blood-smeared, and her mandibles snapped. Who dares touch my air without clearance? Heads now. Physicians bowed low. Keth saluted. Eli didn't flinch. He met her gaze, wiped his hands on his pants. Me. Ellie Mercer. I cut her airway open. She's stable. Myra halted inches from the slab. Her presence crushed the air, heavy pheromones of command. Executioners shifted blades toward Eli. Explain. Every step. Or join the physicians in death. Eli nodded once. Calm. Throat swelled from venom hit. Sedation drops pressure. Kills her faster. I incised cricothyroid membrane. Low risk. Threaded breathing tube from my kit. Suctioned blockage. Clamped the artery bleed with microtourniquet. Bond told me her vitals. Kept it clean. Sci-Fi stirred. Her claw found Eli's wrist. Mother, he anchors. Mara's eyes flicked to the bond glow on Sci-Fi's skin. faint blue threads linking to Eli. She leaned close, inhaling the ichor scent. Your
Kit. Show it.
Eli unclipped the pouch, slapped it into her scaled palm. Copy this. Scalpel, tube, tape, clamp. Field basics. Train your medics on manual airways. Drugs fail when swelling hits fast. Mara turned the kit over, mandibles probing the seals. Physicians edged forward, scanners beeping approval. Replicate, she commanded. Now. Human design. They scrambled to consoles, fabricators humming to life. Keth's comm crackled. Queen, Shira's forces breach outer ring, demanding the human's head. Claims taint. Mayara's spines flared. She tossed the kit back to Eli. Lift up binds you, Mercer. You wear my colors. A guard slapped a royal band on his arm, gold pulsing shield field. Eli flexed his hand. Sci-Fi needs monitoring. No sedatives yet. Granted. Mara gripped Sci-Fi's claw. Daughter. The bond holds. Sci-Fi nodded, eyes on Eli. Practices, saves. Footfalls thundered outside. Blaster fire popped in corridors. Keth raised his rifle. They're here. Mayara drew her scepter. Energy blade igniting. Defend the Medward. The human stays. Eli palmed his knife. No backing down. The bond throned. Sci-Fi's resolve stealing his. Doors buckled under plasma charges. Keth fired first. For the Queen! Eli shoved the slab behind cover. Sci-Fi tucked close. Physicians ducked, but two grabbed crash kits mimicking Eli's clamps on mock wounds. Mayara's executioners charged the breach. Shira's elites poured in. 4, armored, blasters spitting. One lunged for Eli. He sidestepped, knife slashing tendon. The elite crumpled, howling. Mayara bisected another. Traitors die? Keth dropped a third, rifle barking. The last elite targeted Sci-Fi. Eli tackled him mid-leap, driving elbow into throat plates. Crack. Still, silence fell. Ichor pooled. Mayara sheathed her blade. Shira hides. But he fights like Ilir blood. She eyed Eli. Mercer. Your decency, extraordinary. Eli checked Sci-Fi's tube. Secure, just rescue protocol. Stubborn patients live. Sci-Fi squeezed his hand. Bond deepened. Her gratitude a warm pulse. Keth reloaded. Minister's retreat signal. Reinforcements inbound. Mara straightened. To the throne chamber. Full escort. She signaled guards. Human, with the air, you lead her path. Eli lifted Sci-Fi gently, her weight light now. Physicians trailed. New kits clutched. They moved out. Keth vanguard. Mara rear. Corridors sealed behind. But vents hissed. Shira's voice slithered through. The prize bonds. But queens break. Vel claims the throne. Eli's grip tightened. Trust raced ahead of blades. Deeper in, shadows shifted. Keth halted. Ambush ahead. Service lift compromised. Mayara's scepter hummed. Bypass. Mercer. Your map? Ellie traced memory from crash site tunnels. Left flank, maintenance crawl. Tight, but clear. She nodded. Lead. He ducked in first. Sci-Fi on his back. Claws anchored. Bond guided. Her palace knowledge flooding his instincts. Crawlers echoed pursuit. Plasma scorched walls. They emerged into throne antechamber. Guards saluted. But one, Shira's plant-plotted blade. Keth shot him clean. Throne doors parted. Mara entered triumphant. Council convenes. Life debt proclaims. Eli set Sci-Fi on the dais throne. Soft, healing fields activating. Her eyes shone. Eli, stay. He nodded. Queen watched, calculating. Council filed in, robes whispering. Velshira last, pristine, eyes venomous. The human taints succession. Execute. Mara slammed scepter.
Silence. He invokes ancient law.
Bond protector. Indispensable. Shira's mandibles twitched. The bond fades. Queens fall. Eli stood by Sci-Fi. Calm. Kit ready. Council murmured. Votes split. Factions pulling. Keth leaned in. They're moving assassins. Inner guard compromised. Mayara rose. Mercer. Prove it again. Plasma lanced from a council balcony. Eli yanked Sci-Fi down. Blade met blaster, his knife sparking. Shira bolted for shadows. The chase reignited. Trust outpaced intrigue. For now. But the bond whispered warning. Shira's elites massed at core vents. Throne no sanctuary. Eli lunged after Shira. His boots pounded throne room marble. Plasma bolts scorched air behind him. Keth's guards fanned out, blasters barking. Shira vanished into a shadowed arch. Eli skidded to a halt. No clear shot. He scanned. Balcony sniper slumped. Keth's work. Counselors huddled, mandibles chittering. Savi gripped his arm from the dais. Eli, stop. He froze. Her claws pricked skin. Bond pulsed, pain in her gut, poison lingering. He knelt. You're burning up. Council stirred. Velshira emerged from side alcove, robes impeccable, no flight marks. Mercer poisoned her. Leverage play, human toxin, undetectable. Gasps rippled, eyes locked on Eli. Keth's rifle snapped up. Eli ignored it. He unzipped his kit. Scanner hummed over Scivi's scales. Toxin trace, iridium salts, palace vents. Not my gear. Vel stepped forward. Mandibles flared. Convenient. Crash site survivor. Bondweaver. He saves her to claim throne. Queen Mara rose from throne. Scepter glowed. Enough. Silence crashed. Mercer invokes life debt claim. Ancient law. Rescuer binds to bloodline. He is royal property. Protected. Mine. Vel's eyes narrowed. Law dormant centuries. Bond fades. Invoked. Mara's voice cuts steel. Council ratifies. Or treason. Votes, murmured. Factions split. Shira's allies hissed no. Keth's loyalists stamped yes. Tally tipped. Mara nodded. Mercer, you serve Ilir. Healed or slain by my word alone. Eli met her gaze. Property, but Scivi breathed easier. He nodded. Check on her first. Keth holstered. Sweet lockdown. Now. Guards flanked Eli. They marched him through antechamber. Marble yielded to alloy corridors. Lift hummed downward. Secured levels. Doors hissed open to a vaulted suite. Glow panels, medbed, viewport to palace core. Keth swept room, scanned clean, rotating detail. 4 shifts. No solo moves. Eli dropped kit on table. Scivi needs monitoring. Toxin rebound possible. Keth paused. Protocol. Isolation till cleared. Bond says she's crashing. Eli tapped temple. Instincts fired, her fever spiking. Grant access. Supervised. Keth commend up. Queen Human requests princess visit. Mira's voice crackled. Supervised. Keth escorts. Vel observes. Minutes later, they moved. Eli's guards boxed him. Vel joined. Eyes like targeting lasers. Corridors twisted. Security webs pulsed blue. Medwing doors parted. Scivi lay on raised bed. Healing fields shimmered over her torso. Claws twitched. Eyes fluttered open. Eli. He pushed past Vel. Guards tensed but held. Scanner out. Fever peaked. Iridium binding proteins. Counteragent time. Vel snarled. Proof of guilt. Your serum? Earth synth? Eli loaded injector. Pushed needle into her neck scale. She hissed. Relaxed. Bond eased. Fever dropped. Keth watched readout. Vital stabilize. Human competence. Vel leaned in. Temporary. Bond manipulates. He poisons slow. Cures for trust. Scivi gripped Eli's wrist. He saved me. Twice. Feel it. Bond thrummed. Shared warmth. Her gratitude flooding. Vel recoiled. Illusion. Succession demands purity. Mara entered. Flanked by elites. Purity bends to survival. Mercer proves value. She eyed Eli. Stay vigilant. Shira's faction hunts core vents. Assassins inbound. Eli nodded. Kits stocked. Show me vents.
Keth blocked.
Sweet. Scivi stirred. Mother, let him. Bond guides. Myera calculated. Mandibles clicked. Test loyalty. Keth, arm him. Joint patrol. Vel bolted upright. Madness. Human loose. Property serves. Myera's scepter silenced. Mercer, protect my heir. Fail, and debt claims you. Eli shouldered kit. Knife sheathed. Blaster from Keth. Alien grip. Heavy. Lead to vents. They plunged into sublevels. Air thickened. Humid. Vents hummed. Plasma conduits glowing orange. Keth's scanner pinged. Elites ahead. Shira's SIG. Footfalls echoed. Shadows shifted. 3 figures lunged. Claws extended. Vibroblades humming. Eli fired first. Blaster bolt vaporized lead attacker's mask. Keth flanked, dropping second. Third slashed. Eli parried with knife. Sparks flew. Human grip twisted. Blade snapped. He drove elbow into throat. Alien crumpled. Keth stared. Precision, no waste. Bond whispered. More coming. Flank left. Plasma volley scorched wall. Eli rolled. Kit spilling. Smoke grenades. He lobbed 2. Bents choked gray. Coughs echoed retreat. Sevi's voice crackled over comm. LI. Status. Clearing. He scooped Kit. Stay put. Back in Medwing. Vel waited. Luck, not skill. Myera dismissed him. Evidence mounts. Mercer binds tighter. Eli checked Savi. Her hand lingered on his. Claws retracted soft. You fight for us. Simple decency. He adjusted fields. Bond hummed deeper. Trust rooting. Keth pulled him aside. Shira rallies ministers. Vote tomorrow. Exile you, or worse. Eli glanced at viewport. Core vents pulsed. Assassins massed thicker. Then we end it. Night cycle dimmed glows. Eli paced sweet. Guards rotated. Keth's pick. Eyes steady. Bond tugged. Sayavi slept sound, but warning spiked. Door hissed. Guards slumped. Trank dart neck. Shadow slipped in. Vel's agent, blade drawn. Eli grabbed chair. Smashed down. Intruder reeled. Knife out. Slash opened arm. Pinned. Who sent? Lips sealed. Eli zip-tied wrists. Keth! Alarm wailed. Keth burst in. Breach. Interrogation bay. Agent cracked under scanner. Vel. Poison plot his. Frame human. Myera stormed in at dawn. Arrest Shira. But comms jammed. Palace shook. Vents erupting plasma. Shira's coup ignited. Eli grabbed blaster. To throne. Now. Savi met them in hall. Armed. Together. Bond locked. Trust sealed. They charged into firestorm. Shira's elites swarmed. Eli's shots cleared path. Keth covered flanks. Mayera's scepter blasted barricades. Throne room. Vel rallied holdouts. Human taint ends. Ellie yanked Sayavi behind pillar. Plasma grazed. He returned fire. 2 down. Your move, Queen. Myera advanced. Life debt. Unbreakable. Surrender. Vel lunged. Keth tackled. Mandibles. Snapped futile. Chaos ebbed. Guards. Secured. Shira dragged in chains. Eyes. Defiant. Mera turned to Eli. You are Ilir now. Bond eternal. Savi pressed close. Her warmth lingered. Romance sparked subtle. Claws brushing his hand. But Bond whispered. Deeper factions stirred. Exile fleets inbound. Throne's true test loomed. Eli jabbed the syringe needle into the IV port above Sayavi's bed. Clear fluid drew back, steady and slow. He capped it, then uncapped a palace reagent vial. Iridescent blue, labeled in swirling Iller script. His own blood sample waited in the control tube. Baseline human from yesterday's med scan. Princess Sayavi stirred under the silk sheets. Her compound eyes flickered half open, mandibles twitching. Eli, pain, fades. Easy. Testing your drip. He mixed the samples on the bedside analyzer, a palm-sized unit humming to life. Reagents swirled. Colors bloomed, green for clean, amber for trace metals, black for inhibitors. The screen flashed black in under 2 minutes. Eli's jaw tightened. Keth, get in here. Commander Keth Varro burst through the suite door, blaster drawn, 4 guards at his heels. His carapace gleamed under the cycle lights, segmented armor clicking as he scanned the room. Threat? Eli held up the analyzer. Poison in her IV. Inhibitor spike. Blocks neural regen. My blood ran clean as control. Someone tampered upstream. Keth's mandibles snapped. He yanked the IV line taut, tracing its translucent tube along the wall. Supply vault feeds this wing. Guards, seal the hall. Sayavi pushed upright, claws gripping the bed rail. Her scales shimmered violet, bond pulse thrumming in Eli's chest. a warm tether since her rescue. Vel, he argued dosage yesterday. Eli nodded, stripping the line for a full sample. We'll prove it. Keth, raid the vault, now. Keth signaled his team. They charged out, boots thudding on marble. Eli swabbed Savi's arm, reapplied a fresh seal, and rigged a bypass from his field kit. Sterile tube, gravity-fed saline. You're stable. Bond held it off long enough. Her claw brushed his wrist. Lingering, human stubbornness saves again. He taped the line secure, no smile. Focus stayed on the door. Alarms whooped distant. Vault breach protocol. Minutes stretched. Scifi's breathing evened. Eli paced, eyes on the analyzer's data log. Inhibitor matched no standard med. Synthetic block, keyed to Illyr neurochemistry, lethal slow. Keth stormed back, clutching a sealed crate. His faceplate flushed crimson. Tampered batch. Lot 47X, flagged for Princess Wing only. Manifest traces to Minister Velshira's office requisition. Signed digital seal. Eli snatched the manifest slate. Vel's glyph glowed authentic. Frame job or direct hit? Both. Keth keyed his comm. Queen Mara, priority summons. Throne court, now. Sci-Fi swung her legs off the bed. I stand with you. Eli blocked her. Rest. Bond lets me proxy. She gripped his arm, claws pricked gentle, trust sealed in that hold. Palace corridors blurred past as they ran. Eli, Keth, crate underarm. Guards flanked, plasma rifles hot. Whispers rippled from side halls. Human finds taint. Servants froze mid-task. Throne court loomed. Fast dome. Crystal pillars pulsing light. Queen Mara Illyr held center dais, scepter and claw. Golden rod etched with ancestor runes. Courtiers ringed her. Nobles in scale polish, ministers in robes. Velshira stood prominent, polished black carapace gleaming. Mandibles curved smug. The chamber fell silent as Eli strode in. Hundreds of eyes locked. Faceted alien stares boring into the lone human. No sound but boot echoes. Mayra's voice boomed. Mercer. Eli set the analyzer and crate on the audit pedestal. Hollow projected, black spike, manifest chain. Inhibitor in Princess Scifi's IV. Bedside test, 2 minutes. My human blood as control. Clean. Batch from Vel's requisition. Gasps rippled. Vel's mandibles parted. Lies. Human contaminant. Your primitive biology skewed results. Eli tapped the slate. Trace your glyph, Lot 47X. Approved yesterday. Vault seals broken from your office terminal. Keth stepped forward, crate open. Tampered vials gleamed inside, residue matching the spike. Rated hot. Guards confirm your aid-logged pickup. Courtiers murmured. Factions shifted. Pro-Bond nobles edged closer. Anti-human hardliners bristled. Mayra raised her scepter. Light flared, silencing all. Ancient law. Taint in royal line demands audit. Public vote. Now. All ministers cast. Vel lunged verbal. Audit wastes time. Human prize disrupts succession. Life debt mocks throne purity. Vote. Mayra's command cracked like plasma. Slates lit across the court. Glyphs tallied. 62% for audit. Vel's allies paled. Passed. Mayra's eyes, steel gray, pinned Vel. Your office yields to inspectors. Resist. And Bond invokes my protection on Mercer. Life debt unbreakable. Vel bowed stiff, claws clenched. As Her Majesty decrees. Eli watched him retreat, Bond tugging warning. Vel's glance lingered, poisonous promise. Court dispersed in hush. Mayra beckoned Ellie aside, private alcove. Sci-Fi waited there, slipped in via side passage. Her warmth pressed close as Mayra spoke low. You expose rot fast, human. Iller reagents baffled our medics' weeks. Field medicine? Improvise or die. Eli shrugged. Humans fixed crises dirty. No labs needed. Sayavi's claw traced his bandaged arm. From last breach. Bond deepens. You feel it. Warmth spread. He nodded, hand covering hers. Romance flickered. Subtle, earned in fire. Keth approached, slate and grip. Audit teams deploy, but Vel's calm spiked pre-vote. Off-palace links. Mayra's scepter hummed. Exile fleets stir. Deeper factions. Eli checked his blaster. Palace issue, heavy but sure. They come, we hold. Together, Sci-Fi leaned in. Trust outpaces intrigue. Bond, locked tight. But vents hissed faint. Scout drone, palace shadows lengthened. Eli's gut twisted. Test complete. But war brewed. Keth's cone crackled. Vault secondary cache. Armed resistance. Guards mobilized. Eli grabbed his kit. On me, they charged back to the vault. Plasma lighting halls. Vel's elites waited in ambush. 6 carapaced figures, blades drawn, inhibitors primed for air dispersal. Eli dove behind crates, fired twice, 2 down, shields flickering. Keth, flank left! Keth rolled, blaster barking, mandibles gritted. Human sight predicts arcs. Savvy covered from pillar, scepter blast coring a foe. Bond shares. Eli's shots cleared center. Improv grenade from kit. Flashbang hybrid stunned the rest. Keth zip-tied survivors. Cash yielded. Crates of inhibitor vials, manifests to exile lords. Vel's coup papers stamped. Myera arrived with reinforcements. Shira's treachery confirmed. Arrest all links. Vel dragged in later, chains rattling. Defiant eyes met Eli's. You taint us all. Eli stared back. Saved your heir. That's decency, not taint. Queen nodded. Ilir asset now. Protected. Sci-Fi pressed against him. Claws interlaced. Heat built. Romance no whisper. But Keth's scanner pinged. Incoming fleet signatures. Exile armada. Hours out. Thrones test, Mara said. Human leads defense. Eli shouldered blaster. Stubborn decency met royal fire. Bond pulled them forward. Palace braced. Stars burned hostile outside crystal viewports. Fleets inbound. True intrigue ignited. Blaster fire cracked the palace night. Eli Mercer snapped awake in his suite, hand already on the field pistol under his pillow. Crystal chimes outside shattered. Protests turned riot in the grand hall below. Shouts echoed up the vents. For pure blood. Protocol drilled into him since landing. Stay put during unrest. But the door panel flickered red. Override code punched in remotely. They came for him now. He rolled off the bed, bare feet silent on cool stone. Savvy slept in the antechamber, her crest guard posted outside. Bondlaw kept her near, but palace whispers painted him poison. Vel's faction, no doubt. Eli scanned the suite. Alien opulence. All curves and glow crysts. A heavy obsidian vase by the door. Base blunt as a baton. He yanked it free, tipped it sideways. Improv wedge. Jam it under the hatch seal as it cycled. Hatch hissed open. Wedge bit. First attacker shoved. Masked silhouette in carapace weave. Blade glinting. Foot caught. He pitched forward. Skull cracking stone. Eli pounced. Pistol butt smashing temple. Attacker slumped. Mask askew. Courtier mandible peaked. Vel's sigil tattooed on jaw hinge. Intruder down. Eli muttered into calm. No reply. Riot drowned channels. Second shadow lunged over the body. Vibradagger humming. Eli sidestepped. Grabbed a floor sconce. Brass arm uprooted easy from soft wall mount. Swung it like a club. Connected with knee joint. Chitin crunched. Attacker howled. Staggering. Eli followed with pistol shot. Stun pulse to neck. Second down. Hallway alarms blared distant. Riot faint. Guards pulled south. Eli dragged the bodies inside. Sealed hatch manual override. Heart steady. Field med years. Crises. Sorted improv, not panic. Savvy stirred from her alcove bed. Eyes glowing amber. Eli? Assault harmonics. Stay low, he said, tossing her a guard spare blaster from the side table. 3 more inbound. Your crest? She clutched the weapon, claws flexing. Crest guard burst from side door. 2 Iller warriors, blades drawn. Princess, follow the human's lead, Sci-Fi commanded, voice steel, bond, decree. They nodded, mandibles clicking assent. Eli pointed. Flank the hatch. Non-lethal, if palace can. Hatch buckled, ram charge. Splintered open. 3 attackers piled through. Elite bladesmen, inhibitors slung for gas burst. Eli fired first, double tap center mass, shield sparking. 1 dove left. Crest guard met him, blade locking blade. Savvy's shot winged another, scepter energy lancing from her palm. Human predicts breach, the guard barked, admiration edged in tone. Eli didn't waste breath, grabbed the fallen sconce again, whirled it into the gas inhibitor on the lead attacker's belt. Canister ruptured, phone spraying wild, blinded too. He charged, tackling the unshielded one. Fists hammered mandible joints, crack, crack. Pinned him. Zip ties from Kit snapping wrists. Keth Varro exploded into the hall then, blaster leveled, 4 guards behind. Palace Commander scales scarred from border wars. Mercer. Hold fire. Riots staged. Vel's courtiers. Eli rose, breathing even. Got 2 inside. 1 live here. Sigils match. Keth knelt by the pinned courtier, ripped mask. Shira's underminister. Treason. He hauled the captive up, shoved to guards. Interrogate. Secure the human. Not leaving, Ellie said. He checked Savvy. Claw grazed her arm. Shallow. Field gauze from Kit sealed it. She gripped his wrist. Heat in her gaze, trust forged in breach fire. Keth's calm crackled. Commander, vault breach confirmed. Secondary cache hit. Arm teams. Eli's gut tightened. Earlier sweeps missed it. Vel's play to choke the bond before Queen ratified. Saevi. Kid up. Keth. On me. Sevi nodded, scepter in hand. Crest guards fell in. Keth eyed Eli. Protocol screamed isolate the outsider. Evidence screamed otherwise. Lead human. They charged the corridor, plasma bolts chewing walls. Riot noise faded. Real fight pulled north. Eli took point, pistol sweeping corners. Human eyes caught shadows alien night vision glossed. Left fork. Ambush arc. Keth barked orders. They peeled around. 2 defenders popped from alcoves, blades whirring. Eli dropped to slide, firing underhand. Shields popped. Keth's volley finished. Your sight. Unnatural. Training. Eli grunted. Stubborn decency, Palace called it. He called it surviving. Vault doors loomed, ajar and sparking. Inside, crates pried, inhibitor vials glinting. Vel's elites. 6 carapaced shadows, blades out, gas primed. Flank! Eli dove behind plasma crates, fired twice. 2 down. Shields flicker fail. Keth, left. Keth rolled, blaster barking. Human predicts arcs. Savvy covered pillar, scepter coring a foe. Bond shares vision. Eli's shots cleared center. Kit grenade, flashbang hybrid, chem mixed on landing. Tossed. Stunned the rest. Keth zip-tied survivors. Crates yielded manifests to exile lords. Vel's coup stamps. Queen Mare swept in. Reinforcements flooding. Gown armored. Shira's web snaps. Arrest links. Vel dragged moments later. Chains rattling. Defiant glare locked Eli. You taint succession. Eli met it flat. Saved your air. Decency holds. Myra nodded. Ilir asset. Protected. Sci-Fi pressed close, claws interlacing his. Heat built. No whisper now. Keth scanner pinged. Fleet signatures. Exile armada. Hours out. Thrones test, Mara said. Human leads. Eli shouldered blaster. Palace braced. Crystal viewports framed hostile stars. Fleets inbound, but deeper scan pinged. Infiltrator drone in the vents, beaming cords. Bell's last thread, strike team vectoring Eli's position, again. He chambered round, night wasn't done. Eli slammed his boot into the vent grate. Sparks flew, the infiltrator drone whirred inside. Red eye scanning. He fired once, metal crumpled. Silence. Keth swept the corridor, scanner raised, clear. Vel's signal, dead. Sci-Fi gripped Eli's sleeve, her scales paling. You saw it first. Began. Instinct. Eli reloaded, eyes on the crystal viewports. Exile fleets glowed closer on the tactical holomap. Hours out. We move. Myra's voice cut from the throne link. Human to my chambers. Now. Princess escorts. Keth nodded. Go. I'll hold the line. Sci-Fi pulled Eli toward the inner sanctum. Her scepter hummed at her belt. Palace guards flanked them. Blasters hot. They passed sealed doors, air thick with ozone from earlier blasts. She shoved open a private alcove door, crystal walls dimmed to privacy mode. No guards inside. Sci-Fi locked it, turned on him. Tell me. Her voice cracked, claws flexed. Unedited truth. My condition. No palace lies. Eli set his blaster down, leaned against a console. Her pulse raced, visible under translucent skin. Toxin relapse loomed if untreated. You inhaled Vel's inhibitor gas. He kept it flat. Custom brew. Targets ilear neural links. Yours frayed during the vault fight. That's why vision shared. She paced, tail lashing. I feel it. Weakness. Like shadows in my blood.
Manageable.
Eli pulled a medkit from his vest. But ignore it. You seize mid-battle. Exile fleets inbound. Can't risk that. Demand protocol. Sayovi stopped inches away. Heat radiated from her. Bond tugged. Warm thread in his gut. Teach me. Now. Eli nodded. Goal. Stabilize her. No time for debate. First breathing. He tapped her chest plate. In through nostrils. 4 counts. Hold 4. Out through mouth. 6. Matches human diaphragm to your secondary lungs. Slows toxin spread. She mimicked. In. Hold. Out. Scales flushed deeper blue. Feel the pull? Eli watched her vents. That's it, clearing. Continue. Savi's eyes locked his. Trust edged in. Self-check. He handed her a palm scanner from the kit. Daily. Scan neck vents here. Touched the spot under her jaw. Green clear. Yellow. Med dose from my pack. Red. Summon me. She pressed it to her skin. Beep. Yellow. Relapse brewing. Eli mixed a vial. Field chem from scavenged crates. Drink this. Stabilizes links. Savy downed it, grimaced. Bitter. Effective. She straightened. Bond hummed stronger. You rewrite my survival. Why? Decency. Eli capped the vial. Saved you once. Finished the job, door chime pierced. Myera's seal flashed. Sayavi waved it open. The queen entered alone. Gown shed for light armor. Scepter glowing. Eyes assessed Eli like a weapon schematic. Life debt invoked. Myera's voice brooked no argument. Ancient law binds you to Ilir throne. Formal contract seals it. She projected a hollow contract. Glowing clauses scrolled. Eli as protected asset. Quarters and palace. Command access limited. Loyalty oath to Queen first. Sayavi tensed beside him. Bond pulled taut. Eli scanned it. Goal. Accept protection. Conflict. Leash too tight. Vel's allies still lurked. Manifests named exile lords with palace moles, not signing. Eli crossed arms. Myera's crest flared. Refusal voids claim. Factions circle. You die. Rewrite it. Eli tapped the hollow. Clauses shifted under his override code. Keth's earlier access. Term 1. Saivi's autonomy. No throne orders through her without consent. Queen's eyes narrowed. Succession demands. Term 2. Eli overrode. Full audit of Vel's networks. Expose remaining allies. Public trial. No quiet executions. Sayawi's claws brushed his hand. Silent support. Myera circled him. You presume much, human. Protects your throne. Eli met her gaze. Exiles inbound. United front wins. Or they pick us apart. Keth burst in via comm. Commander inbound. Strike team diverted. Your drone kill bought time, but manifests confirm. 3 ministers linked to Vel. Eli pointed. Audit exposes them. Mara paused. Hollow flickered. She authorized. Agreed. Eli added clause. I lead rescues. You provide Ilirtech. Collaboration. Savi exhaled. Mother. Queen sealed it. Hollow burned gold. Official. Eli Mercer Ilir ally bonded. Heat surged through the bond. Savi's hand found his. Claws interlaced proper. Royal grip. Myera's scanner pinged. White signature shift. Exiles probe shields. Eli shouldered his blaster. Protocol time. Sayavi. Self-check. She scanned. Green. Clear. Keth entered, dragging a bound minister. Vel's tag. Caught signaling armada. Eli grinned. Audit starts now. Myera nodded. Human leads, but alarms wailed. Vent grate above buckled. Gas hissed. Vel's final elites dropped. 4. Masked blades poisoned. Eli dove, firing. Flank! Savi's scepter lanced plasma. 1 down. Keth rolled left. Blaster barked. 2 staggered. Mara summoned guards. Last elite lunged at Eli. Poison arc predicted. He sidestepped. Human training. Elbowed the throat. Zip-tied. Sci-Fi pressed close post-fight. Bond sharpened it. Your instincts. Teamwork. Eli wiped sweat. Palace shook. Exile probes hit shields. Mara eyed the contract. You rewrote the leash into a shield. Eli checked his kit. Decency holds. Holomap zoomed. Exile led ship hailed. Demand. Surrender the human taint. Keth growled. They know. Sci-Fi's claws tightened. Bond thrummed. Trust. Solidifying. Eli chambered around. Answer them. Eiler stands. But deep scan pinged again. Palace core breach. Vel's ghost code unlocked a throne vault. Ancient weapons stirring. Myra's eyes widened. Night escalates. Mara's claws slammed the throne console. Holoscreens flared to life across the chamber. Tribunal convenes. Now, broadcast empire-wide. Her voice cut through the wailing alarms. Eli Mercer gripped his blaster tighter, eyes on the bound elite at his feet. Poison blade glinted under the lights. The palace shuddered again. Exile probes hammering shields. Vel Shira burst through the side door, robes disheveled. Palace guards flanked him, blasters trained. Majesty, this is madness. The human. Silence. Mara's scanner locked onto Vel's neck. Oath-Tech collar snapped into place with a hiss. Golden threads pulsed, binding truth to pain. Vel winced, claws flexing. You will answer. Under Empire law. Eli stepped forward, kit slung over his shoulder. He pulled the data chip from his vest. Chain of custody seal glowed intact, his field stamp unbroken. Evidence first. He slotted it into the central hollow. Projections bloomed. Vel's encrypted orders to the masked elites. Timestamps matched the gas attack. Funds traced to exile accounts. Vel's eyes darted. Fabrication. Human trickery. The Oath-Tech zapped. Vel convulsed, scales paling. Truth, Niera snarled. Or burn. Keth Varro hauled the captured courtier forward, the one with Vel's tag. Bound and hooded. Keth ripped the hood free. The minister blinked into the lights, trembling. Speak, Keth growled. Minister Vel paid us. Poison the human. Unlock the vault. Exile fleet takes the throne. The courtier's words tumbled out. Oath-Tech on his collar verified each syllable green. Eli nodded to Keth. Got your cue. He chambered a fresh round in his blaster. Calm as triage. Humans fixed crises. No flare needed. Vel's facade cracked. Sci-Fi's bond weakens the line. The human taints. Another zap from the collar. Vel dropped to his knees. Savi Ilya rose from her seat, scepter humming. Bond heat pulsed through Eli's chest. Her trust, solid now. She pointed at 3 flickering hollow badges on the wall feed. Vel's inner circle. Keth, arrest them. Now. Keth's comb crackled. He barked orders. Live feeds split-screened. Guards swarmed corridors. 2 ministers cuffed in the east wing. The third bolted. Tripped into a stun net. Done, Keth reported. His eyes met Eli's. Respect flickered there. Protocol bent. But evidence held. Sci-Fi didn't pause. Replacements. Captain Lyra Voss for finance. Keeler Terran for protocols. Admiral Krell for fleet. Her voice rang clear. Royal grip tightening on Eli's hand. Claws interlaced, proper, unyielding. Myra's throne console pinged. Vault breach escalated. Ancient weapon signature spiked. Shadow pulse emitter, forbidden since the fracturing wars. Eli's scanner synced. It's charging. 10 minutes to full yield. Shields won't hold it. Vel laughed, ragged. Exiles have the codes now. Your human can't. Myra silenced him with a gesture. Guards dragged him to the brig feed. She turned to the central hollow. Empire-wide broadcast locked in. Trillions watched. Nobles, fleet captains, outpost clans. Her image sharpened. Regal scales gleaming. People of Ilir, hear your queen. Eli stood at her side, blaster holstered. Seavi pressed close. Bond thrumming anticipation. Keth flanked them, hand on his sidearm. Tonight, traitors struck. Myra's claws swept the screens. Arrest feeds replayed. Vel's confession looped. Vel Shira sought the throne through poison and exile. But one stood. Her gaze locked on Eli. Scanner beams swept him. Ali Bond verified. gold and unbreakable. Ellie Mercer, human rescue specialist. He pulled my daughter from wreckage. Forged this bond through decency, not demand. His protocols saved us tonight. Hollow chits projected, Eli's chain of custody. His field med stabilizing Sci-Fi post-rescue. Improvised jammers blocking Vel's ghost code earlier. Aliens murmured across the feeds. Humans did this, with mere kits. Myra raised her scepter. By ancient law of the bonded shield, I claim him. Eli Mercer is royal protected consort guardian. His life entwines ours. Harm him, you strike the throne. Bond heat surged. Sci-Fi's claws squeezed Eli's hand harder. Trust outpaced the intrigue. Finally, Eli kept his stance easy, no humble dip. Just nodded. Protocols integrate. Joint core starts now. Mara's console flared new orders. Format, human-led rescue wing, Ilertech, his methods. Fleet adopts tomorrow. Hollow schematics bloomed. Med drones with Eli's triage trees. Blaster configs for human sidesteps. Keth saluted. Yes, Majesty. Exile hail cut in. Lead ship demanding surrender. Maya smirked. Answer them. Illair stands with Mercer. But vault alarms spiked. Deep scans showed the emitter cresting. Eli pulled his kit. Breach team. The Sevi. Keth. Flank me. He chambered rounds. Palace shook harder. Savi's eyes lit with fire. Together. Keth grinned. First real one. Human protocols. Let's test them. Myra watched them go. Broadcast still live. Empire cheered. HFI rippling through clans. But a meter hummed louder. Night wasn't over. Eli led the sprint down vault corridors. Boots pounding crystal floors. Red emergency lights strobed. Self-checks every junction. Sevi scanned green. Keth, too. Bond sharpened their sync. Her plasma lancing shadows ahead. Ghost drones buzzed from vents. Vel's failsafe. Eli's blaster barked twice. Drones sparked out. Improvisation. Grenade vents. He lobbed a stun pulse. Hall cleared. They hit the vault door. Oath-Tech runes glowed, half corrupted. Emitter thrummed inside. Shadow pulses cracking the frame. 30 seconds. Eli's wrist unit ticked. Savi interfaced her scepter. Codes fighting. Claws danced. Bond fed him her strain. He steadied her elbow. Human touch grounded. Keth covered flanks. Guards inbound. Exiles probing airlocks above. Got it. Eli pulled field welder from kit. Sealed a side panel. Exposed emitter core. Palm-sized relic. Pulsing void black. Disarm sequence. Magnetic clamp first. He slapped it on. Core wind down. Savi poured countercode. Keth blasted a drone swarm. Core stabilized. Green. Eli exhaled. Vault. Secure. Alarms. Eased. But comms lit. Exile armada massing jump points. Mara's voice broadcast empire-wide. Mercer holds. Ilir endures. Sci-Fi leaned into him, claws lingering. You rewrote our survival. Teamwork. Eli checked his kit. Decency held. Always. Keth clapped his shoulder. Corpse trains at dawn. Your lead. Back in the throne chamber, Myra awaited. Broadcast peaked. Trillions pledged anew. Vel's co-conspirators chained beside him.
She eyed Eli.
Consort guardian, the bond, shields us all. Eli nodded. Bond heat warmed. Trust won, but outer sensors pinged. Exile flagship decloaked. Massive. Weapons hot. Demand. Hollow flared. Surrender the taint, or burn. Eli shouldered his blaster. Protocol time. Ilir fleet. Human sync. Mara smiled. Engage. Palace shields flared gold. Night escalated to war.